Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're watching this. Uh, we want to thank you for coming to the Aging Experts. And we have a great guest here. She's going to talk about life after divorce and how all the things that entails. And she'll tell us her backstory and such as that. But I'm Carol Henderson, and I have Life by Design, and I'm here to help people to circle up and make their life better and better each and every day. So I'm also joined by my wonderful co-host with the most hosts, so Ms. Barbara Ellison.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ellison. I'm a transformational life trainer, and I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. Because right at this moment, it just breaks my heart that men are literally dying because they're not being taught to have worth and value outside of their job title or their job description. And so they're not retiring successfully. It impacts their bodies are falling apart because of stress, and faced with that, like, what are they going to do for income outside of their job income? So that's what I do. And it's just a blessing to bring people on that have had little bits of that in their life. So Lucy, welcome to the Aging Expert Show. How are you doing today?
Thanks. I'm doing really well, and I'm happy to be here. I love this topic about having your best life beyond a certain age, beyond divorce, beyond it all.
Right. And so often we think that we get to a certain age, and Carol, we talk about this all the time too, is that it was like, well, okay, well, I'm 60 or I'm 70. I've lived a life. Well, yeah, but if are you not happy? Are you happy?
Well, yeah, and you're not dead yet, so don't
And
spend
you're
your
not
life
dead
sitting
yet.
on the sofa eating bonbons and watching soap operas. You have too much to give to the world and to the future generations. I mean, there's so much wisdom in the generations before me that is being lost that I think we're going to regret soon. I mean, just different basic ways to do things uh, without all the conveniences that we have now and the things that are just at a drop of a hat. I mean, how
Right.
did people preserve food before they had refrigerators? Or what did
Right.
they do to be healthy before they had, antibiotics and stuff like that and a doctor on every corner? So,
So Lucy, tell us about you. How did you, and what made you think that, oh, I have something to share on the Aging Experts? So tell us about you.
Well, my big moment for being here was November 12th. I celebrated my 60th birthday, and it was my first birthday it was full of joy. Like 20, 30, 40, 50, I was twice my weight. I was in a plus size, and I was always worried about what people thought. And I entered those birthday parties. I don't think I had a birthday party in 20, but 30, 40, and 50, I had birthday parties given to me by my ex-husband. And I just have memories of them being just all full of stress and worrying what people thought about me, not being comfortable in my own skin, and just not really happy occasions. But 60, I looked better than I ever did in my life. Even opposed to 20, I looked really glamorous, and it's amazing. I never in my life imagined that I could be glamorous at any age, not to mention 60. So um it's just I shock myself sometimes, so I didn't know it was possible. So I want to be like, I want to walk the walk and talk the talk to let others know they can do it, because I used to hobble around at size 24. Everything hurt, my feelings and my body. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm ridden with pain, emotional or physical pain, like I once was. Of course there's stress, but um not like then.
well, and we can help you with your stress.
Right. Yeah. And so
So,
many people
yeah.
are in the same boat.
Exactly, exactly. Uh, yeah, so you were married, and I take it you're not married anymore because you said ex-husband. Uh,
Right.
how did all that come about, and what did it change in your life?
Just he um I don't think he I met him in my 20s. So I met him at a time where I was not the real me.
Right.
So we were not a match. We really weren't a match, his temperament and my temperament. And so the person I'm with right now, whom I'm dating, I did that with as me, I went for what I wanted. And when you're younger, sometimes you take especially when you're a woman, it's who approaches you. Remember, like I was like, I don't really think that we should go out, but he kept approaching me, my ex. But with the current person, he was the person that I wanted. He's more suited for me. We're compatible. We're the same religion. My ex-husband was from India. We met in grad school. So I'm like, I'm a Catholic. So like we totally were different, but he pursued me, and he said he loved me. And that's what you do when you're younger. You
How
don't
long
think
were you married?
over 20 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But so now I'm all about people really knowing what they want for themselves and going for people who are in alignment with their vision.
Right.
When we're younger, we just go with whatever feels good, I guess.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we get married when we least know what we want in a mate. We don't know, like in my case, I didn't know who I was, let alone what I wanted in a mate. So of course, consequently, my first marriage ended in divorce. And then got married again, but married the same type of man. Because I didn't know and yet it was a good marriage. But then when he passed away, that's when it was like, all right, Barbara, you have to find out who you are. And I think that is what has now really changed my life. I now know, and I'm, like you said, Lucy, I'm now comfortable in my own skin. I like me.
Yeah.
And I never knew that I didn't like me until I was 60. I didn't know that I didn't like me. And it wasn't that I didn't like myself but I didn't know me. I didn't know the real me.
You
So
were
I
still
was
trying
never
to fit
attracted
in.
to myself.
I'm sorry, what?
I was never attracted to myself.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to date me the way I looked and felt. And like now I would totally date me if I was a guy.
Right. I said that the other day. I like who I am now. And
Yeah,
if
would
somebody
you
likes
date
me,
yourself
I
if you
would
were a
date
guy?
myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I wouldn't want to date myself because I wouldn't want to have to date. But you've got to realize I do like myself, but I've been married for 50 years this coming year.
Congratulations.
So yeah, and Barbara's met Keith and
Yeah.
knows him.
And you're a match.
We are a match, but God put us together. We were both running the opposite way from the idea of marriage, opposite way. And, he put us together. We actually dated for a very short time and, 2 months. And that's nothing in the scheme of things. Even then it was like, oh, this is fast, but we knew it was right. And people used to say, oh, Keith lets you do this and do that. And I said, he gives me all the rope I need to hang myself, and I don't plan on hanging myself. But just even he's comfortable with me traveling worldwide for years, a lot when I had the modeling agency. And so but he is the right match. And there's the key, is finding that right match.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world.
Right. And I think sometimes we have to realize that sometimes we need help to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Lucy comes in and where coaching comes in. Because we least know what we want until we know who we are ourselves.
Yes.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
That's a big question stump. That's a big stumper when I ask people that. What do you want? Nobody's ever asked me that. So they're living by what other people want for them or what they think they should be doing. And you lose a lot of life doing that.
Yeah.
I think lose a lot of quality, I should say. A lot of quality of life. Yes. If you're living what you think people want. I learned that nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. If you think you're doing something for somebody, they don't even care that you've sacrificed precious moments.
Or they don't even know you have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't even know.
Acknowledge, they don't even know you have.
My kids, for example, don't really realize what I've sacrificed until they don't get it.
How old are they?
21, 23, and 25.
Oh, they're young. They're young.
That, I have to tell you a funny story. One time, I was one of 4 girls, and we used to fight like cats and dogs. And my mom used to always say, if you girls don't stop fighting, one day you're gonna come home and I'm gonna run away. Well, one day we had one of our little battles, one big battle. We all scattered. Well, we came home, and of course, dinner was always on the table at 5 o'clock. And we all got home about 4:30, and the house was totally quiet and no mom. Well, 5 o'clock comes, no mom. 6 o'clock, no mom. 7 o'clock, no mom. All right, by this time we're panicking. Oh, brother, where's mom? She's run away. Where's mom? Well, finally, I had to go upstairs and iron a blouse. It was back in the time where we had to iron. I'll age myself. And on the because she knew my mom was smart. She was a smart woman. She knew one of us would have to iron a blouse to do ironing for the next day going to school. And there was a little note on the ironing board: have gone to Vancouver with your dad on his business trip. The refrigerator is empty. See you on Thursday.
What day of the week was it?
This was on a Sunday. Well, we were all older teenagers. It wasn't like she was leaving us desperate. I mean, we knew how to cook and stuff, and we knew how to take care of ourselves, but we had to make our own lunches. My mom got up and made our lunches every day. Well, let me tell you, that was the smartest thing she ever did. She came home. We talk about not appreciating until something is gone. Oh, yike. We didn't fight for years. Or if we did, it would be like, okay, stop. Ladies, we're done. Let's settle this. Let's talk about this, which is what's not happening in divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you find that, Lucy, that people aren't talking about what's going on? And with us, we had to learn how to talk.
Or they're talking and not listening.
Communication is a big struggle for everyone, not just married people, but everyone.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I teach people, how to communicate. I say there's a continuum. You're either communicating to build distance, going the negative way, or to the right to bring closeness.
Right.
That's it. You can either communicate one way or the other. You're either going to become closer or become more distant.
Right. And don't you think
list of things that go on each side? And the worst thing, we don't even want to, I think it's worse to be neutral. Nobody wants to be flatline, neutral, right in the middle. You either want to be coming closer or you're going the other way, which isn't good either. But at least then at least if you're going the other way and that causes pain and distance, you might realize that you have a problem and do something about it. But if you're just neutral, I don't like that spot.
Just going through the motions?
Oh, yeah, just being, okay, you're not hurting, you're not distant, but you're not close. You're just neutral. You're just there, right? Right in the middle, like flatlined. I don't like that.
No.
Right.
I don't mind. You can even have passion. What do they say? You lay both before God, your struggles and your strengths. So but being just in the middle, if you're struggling, you can turn to someone for help. Or if you're doing well, you can help someone, but just to be in the middle, I don't think that's
even he says, be hot or cold, because if you're warm, I'll spew you out of my mouth.
Lukewarm. Yeah.
I never heard that.
And think about coffee. If you're at somebody's house and they serve you a fresh pot of coffee or a fresh cup of coffee, you expect it to be hot. If they serve you a glass of tea, which Barbara prefers cold drinks, you expect it to be cold and not the ice all melted. What if somebody invites you over for coffee and they serve you a cup of coffee and it's lukewarm?
Room temperature, yes.
Yeah, it's like, ooh. Even if the coffee is ice cold, that's ice cold.
Right, if it's iced coffee, right.
Yeah, but room temperature, this.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I even find when I'm working with my clients, if they're sort of just okay with life, I have to say, I always ask them, have you suffered enough? And are you willing to, and they have to say yes. If they haven't suffered enough yet, they don't need me.
Right.
And I would say, are you willing to do what it takes? If they can't answer yes to both, I don't even want to work with them. They won't want to work with me, because let's get busy. It doesn't take a long time if you can answer yes to both of those questions, and then start living. I don't think we have to drag things out and everything has to be work.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it's a paradigm shift, and listening to people who are living their best lives and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
And just do it. I don't know. People are
And
just out there.
start with small steps. I think so often we expect it to be this huge, massive effort. Well, it doesn't have to be, whether it's with ourselves or with somebody else. That's what I think one of the biggest things for me was that I realized that in the morning I could choose to wake up and be, all right, Barbara, you've got to get up and are you going to be enthusiastic about the day with yourself? Or are you going to beat yourself up for what you didn't do or did do yesterday?
Mhm.
Nope. Today's a new day. I get to choose how my day is going to
Isn't
go.
that great that every day we can choose, every week we can choose, every month we can choose, every year we can choose? We've got so many chances. Every hour we can choose to be happy. Every
Mhm.
hour. So, I mean, we have so many chances for a do-over. So
Right.
many chances.
Right.
You know,
What's that?
you hear that so much. However, I find there's so many people who are discouraged and they don't believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so hard. It's hard for people to believe that. It was always hard for me to believe that when my focus was on my pain. It's hard to believe that anybody could ever help me, or I lived in it.
Right.
I just, yeah, I hope that we can help people sooner, because I feel like such a late bloomer. But
One of the things that I have realized it is for such a time as this,
Mhm.
doing what I'm doing. That's what I am here to do and to call to do. So how do you start people on that process? Like, what's one thing that you have found that most people, if they can start just one thing, what would it be?
for me in my coaching practice, it's to let go of the story that their ex has told them. They come to me with that. They're like, oh, they don't feel like, if it's a man, um, he doesn't feel good about himself because his wife maybe beat him up. And if it's a woman, I'm just using an example, maybe she was cheated on and she doesn't feel beautiful.
Right.
So once they realize, I'm like, oh my goodness, you are beautiful. I can totally see the beauty in people at every age, and the good, but if you're in the midst of that, it's hard. And so that's the big shift when I look at them through my eyes, and they start letting go of somebody else's story. And sometimes it could be your parents' story. A lot of people have struggles maybe with their mother or father, maybe even siblings. What we hear all these messages and we start to like have the wrong story about ourselves. So that's a big paradigm shift. Like, oh yeah, I really am active. I really do love this. And yeah, even with my current my boyfriend, yeah, he didn't realize how great he was, because
Mhm.
he heard his ex's messages.
Right.
She didn't value him. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're
Right.
you're really
I have
awesome.
Yeah, I have to admit that that was my second husband. We had we did have a great marriage, and sometimes once in a while I was like, well, and he would say things like he had this just absolute quirky side, and once in a while he would do these quirky things, waiting to see what my reaction would be. And once he realized that I most of the time just laughed because it was like just these quirky things that he would do. And I would just laugh. And then he got to the point where it became a challenge that, oh, okay, I can make Barb laugh because doing something even more quirky. And he would get me, and I would literally just be rolling because of the things that he would do intentionally, because he knew it would make me laugh. But his first wife, oh brother, heaven forbid if he did one of his quirky things. So he always felt like he was stifled, that quirky side of him.
Well, and that's so true. We can stifle people, or we can help them to bloom.
To
So
bloom.
how do people get a hold of you, Lucy? What if they want to work with you and they want to move out of where they are in their life or in their divorce or in whatever stage they're in? How do they get a hold of you?
So I am all about light, and so my website is Lighten with Lucy. So you can go to lightenwithlucy.com.
Lighten with Lucy?
Lighten, yes, because I believe no burden is too heavy to be lightened. No burden.
That's good. I love that.
Good. That's good.
It's all about light. We want to get out of the darkness and out of the heaviness. And that's my mission.
Wonderful.
Out of that. And I was gonna respond to Barbara. Laughter is the closest distance between two people. So no matter how much somebody is hurting from their situation, I just laugh. And yeah, I do. I am certified in laughter yoga, and but even without that certification, I love to laugh. No matter what the problem is, it's really, if you laugh, all of a sudden you have that pocket of pain relief.
Right.
It's not unlike any drug or anything else. Just laughter is the best.
Yes.
I love
Well,
how you
it says that it's healing to our bones too. So it's very, very good for us. Thank you for coming on. This has been so good and so enlightening. And guys, reach out to Lucy because she can help you laugh. And I want to say, if you're watching us on Facebook, please click like or share, like and share. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when we're putting up a new ad. So thank you so much, Lucy. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.